Topol zrak sunt divkoj pleni volševe. Od rekata sunt bistra kapka bleskava. More seni I te opiva.
Welcome to our Voices of Today Fireside Chat series with our illustrious, incredible Vasil Garvanliev, who is joining us live from Macedonia. Hey, Vasil!
Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good. 7 hours ahead. So midnight for me, I believe 5 p.m. for you. So let's do this.
I am joined by my co-moderator, Voice of Chicago, Singers Council member, Mr. Caleb Kowalkowski. How are you, Caleb?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Please make sure to leave any questions that you have in the chat so we can get them answered during the interview.
Fantastic. A little bit about Vasil. Vasil was born in Strumica, North Macedonia in 1984. We're giving away your age, Vas. He began professionally at 7 years old after performing at the Golden Nightingale Singing Festival, and quickly went on to become a child pop star in North Macedonia with a hit song in 1994.
However, the threat of the Balkan Civil War forced his family to flee their home for the United States. Vasil's family settled in Chicago, where he sung in the Chicago Children's Choir from 1999 to 2003. He then began to pursue his opera career, landing scholarships to study music. Unfortunately, his family was forced to leave the United States, and Vasil had to leave his scholarships behind. After going through deportation, Vasil and his family lived separately across the world, but Vasil ultimately ended up in Toronto, Canada, where he pursued his music career, studying at the Royal Conservatory of Music and graduating from Calgary Opera's Emerging Artists Program.
Vasil's opera career has been incredibly successful, and he has held over 50 lead roles as a baritone across the world. In 2018, he decided to move back home and focus on his pop career. So yes, Vas, what did you do after that? Oh, in 2016, you reunited with us, actually, that's right, to sing on Chance the Rapper's acclaimed coloring book album alongside fellow alumni Jamila Woods and Isaiah Robinson, and then you moved back to Macedonia in 2018, right?
That's right. So let's think back. I was living in London. This was 2017. Living in London, I had decided I was taking lessons because I had gone through, I guess, what you would call a second puberty. They said my voice was changing from a baritone to tenor. So I moved to London to study with a teacher. And while I was doing that, I was not forced, but I had to cancel my opera contracts for 3 years just to let the voice and the instrument settle again. And to me, one of the most amazing things happened in the silence and not being able to perform, I was able to listen to this. And my intuition said, move back home, focus on what your strength is, your ability to write music, and focus on pop career. So I moved back home 2018. It's been a year and a half, okay, almost 2 years, released 4 singles, quite well received. And then last year was part of the winning team. We won the jury vote for the Eurovision Song Festival. I was a backing vocal for Tamara and then prepped her vocally as well. And lo and behold, this year started with one of the best gifts I could have been given. My childhood dream of being the representative for Eurovision came true. I was selected to represent Macedonia. And alas, we all know what happened. The world came to a halt, but hey, we are here, so this is a beautiful thing, and we get to chat.
Oh my gosh, well, thank you for joining us. Hey, Vas,
my pleasure.
How did you discover the choir, by the way? How did we meet?
Miss Judy Hansen. So I was junior high and 7th and 8th grade, which is when we moved to the States. And as soon as I graduated 8th grade, Judy said, I have to take you with me to a choir in Chicago. So I believe we all ended up joining the choir the same year, 99, correct? You came as well, Miss Amelia Fonte. So all of us, that was the first year and probably the most important 4 years to my development as a singer, which, yes, I knew my calling very little. I was discovered very little. But the lessons and experiences that I learned while I was in the choir is what, in a way, is my foundation, pillars to everything I've achieved.
Speaking of Miss Hansen,
Mm-hmm.
I spy Judy.
Here I am.
Oh no.
Hello.
Oh, there she is. I
How
don't
you
see you,
doing,
but I hear
Vasil?
you. Oh, there you are.
Of course, I have some noise coming in right now. It hasn't been here all day.
Okay, excuse me. You're not going to be the only one with Mickey's behind you. How are you?
Judy,
I am amazing. I'm better because I'm seeing you. And I think back to all of our wonderful times together when you first walked into my classroom, straight from Macedonia, ready to go in 7th grade, and didn't speak English. And the rest is history, Vasil. We're so
Yes, it
happy
is.
about our journey that we've been with together with you, with Ms. Lee, all of us. So my life is better because of you, my dear.
Likewise. Oh, I'm shaking. That's good.
I love the story that you shared with us about how you discovered Miss Hansen's room. Do you mind sharing that when you were?
So I remember when we moved, my fame was what had gotten us the visas to go to the States. And then when we got there, my mom said, there will be no more singing. This is our new life, which is a typical immigrant. I mean, I understand why she said what she said, but to a 12-year-old boy who is the icon back home, to coming and being nobody in a new country, you do not say that. So I remember I was very, very stubborn, very upset. And then she said, why don't you join choir? And I will never forget walking down that hallway of Eisenhower Junior High School. And I saw Judy in a polka dot dress, just standing there. And she was the first person who stopped and took time to learn my name. Of course, I did not speak English. And then one of the best things that she did for me, which I will never forget, is she was the one who introduced all the doors that music has. I remember my mom taught me how to say at a country tour from an album I did, a videotape. See, I even carry it like this. And I remember I learned how to say here, watch this. And Judy thought she would be seeing some choir concert. Lo and behold, it was a solo concert where I think I was throwing t-shirts and the fans were ripping them. And after that moment, I just remember there was this click where I still call Judy to this day my music mother, that she took care of me, taught me English, taught me music, and was the one who brought me to the choir. So there's that little short story for you, which hopefully one day soon I'll share in person with all of you guys.
For sure. Thanks, Judy, for making an appearance.
Love you, Vasil. Take care. Be safe in Macedonia. Love you so much.
See you soon.
See you soon.
So Vasil, I know that you started out with pop music, but when did you decide to switch to opera? Like, what inspired your love for opera music?
The scolding I got from Judy, Josephine, and Amelia at choir. So it was actually the choir that introduced all of that to me. I did not know anything about that before then. Singing choral music, I cannot tell you how many messiahs or four requiems I have sung as a soloist. And coming back to the choir once again, learning those pieces the way we learned them in I don't know if militant is the right way, in such a strict way that it inspired and guided everything that has happened since. So, and that was if I have a goal for today to share with all of you guys, is to plant seeds of all of the things that I've learned, not just in the choir, but along the way. And it's up to you what you do with those seeds. You have to nurture, water, cut them, throw them away. And that's the thing, the choir gave me that. And I feel that it's not my duty, it is my duty, just like all of us that were in the choir, to share that and keep that going, even if music doesn't end up being your life. These are the years that, trust me, there's gonna come a time where things might not be the best. Choir family is gonna call you first, so you'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, choir family. We'll come back to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Vasil is one of the strongest, human beings I know on this planet. I mean, he's the most resilient, not only most talented, but I don't want to tear up, but Vasil, I would love for you to just share your journey with everyone. How you left that day, when we were at O'Hare, saying bye to you. That was probably one of the hardest moments of my life.
Mm-hmm.
United with you in Milan, in Italy, and then kind of your journey. If you could just share what it has been.
So my senior year, we did the premiere of Sitaram, and I was cast as Prince Rama. And I believe in serendipity. I believe nothing is an accident, my friends. Everything happens for a reason. And I was Prince Rama, and that whole journey of him having to leave everything he loves to prove his worth, to gain strength, to walk through the fire, to go to Sita. It was doing the role. I did not understand what that role was, though life itself was prepping me for this journey. And I remember I got the deportation letter, and it was at my graduation dinner that I told everybody. Nobody knew. Josephine, Judy, Amelia, all of my closest CCC family, the five as we called it. I remember I decided to write my life as a fairy tale. And I got up there all smiling. I said, I'm not going to give a speech. I said, I'm going to tell you my favorite fairy tale. And I started talking, once upon a time, blah, 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 blah. And then I said in the letter, and then a knock came on the door. And I looked at everybody, and I remember singing, and now I'm standing on my own, another place, another memory. And I said, we are getting deported in about a month and a half. And I said, I will prove you and show you all that I am meant to do something in this world. And because of you, because of all of you believing in me, I will not stop fighting. And this was that beginning. And I remember jumping to the story. There's a big story to share, but just to close it down, my family left before me. I stayed about 2 weeks later. And I remember I stayed at everybody's house. And then all of you, the choir, a lot of people from the choir came to O'Hare, formed a circle. I was in the middle of the circle, and as everybody held hands, and you sang the prayer to me. And I remember I walked back because the plan was, because I was a minor at the time, I was to come back and study on the full scholarship in New York. Lo and behold, I didn't know that then I got a 10-year bar from the States, so I wasn't allowed to come to the States. But through family, through music, perseverance, hard work, music has been my passport, my language that has opened every door. So just to close that story, so we can keep chatting. But I don't know if anybody has any questions with regards of any of that.
Well, I guess we could switch the topic over to Eurovision, because I know that's a big thing that you've done recently, but many of our listeners might not know exactly what it is. So would you be able to explain it more to them and explain like what you were doing with Eurovision and what you were supposed to do?
It is the Olympics of singing. So I guess closest to what you would know is American Idol was kind of based on Eurovision. It was supposed to be the 65th year this year. And each country chooses a kind of like the Olympics. Each country chooses a singer to represent the country, and you go and duke it out. You write an original song, very strict guidelines. You get 120 to 200 million viewers live for the audience. It's a televised show, enormous. It is something I've been dreaming of my whole life. And the opportunity was given to so close, but alas, it got canceled. So this year is not happening. I still don't know yet if they're going to send me again next year. I hope so, because I didn't get the chance. But that would have been, and it was, I mean, that's been my last couple of months. It's just been pretty much like this, doing home concerts, recording videos, meeting fans. It's one of those chances where everything you've been working towards, you get to show the world and be like, hello, this is me. And share a piece of who you are, because it's a tapestry of color, a tapestry of culture, diversity, music. So that is Eurovision.
Tell us about what life is like in Macedonia right now.
We are quite ahead of you guys, and we've passed our peak. So, I mean, of course, I keep saying there's no need to avoid what we're going through. I think the most important thing is to face and be real with what's going on. We've been on quite strict restrictions. We have daily curfew. And for the past 2 weekends, we've been in complete lockdown. So Friday till Monday morning, nobody whatsoever is allowed to go outside. So it's been hard, but I'm seeing the good in all of that, because I'm focused. I went in, because it's one of the things I was like, when was the last time I've had so much time with myself? I don't remember, never. And so going in, meditating, yoga, taking classes on Instagram, go Instagram live and dancing with everybody, YouTube, and writing a lot of music. So I'm focusing on my album now. Yes, Eurovision is not happening, but this is my chance. I came back to do a Macedonian album because I believe in using the Macedonian roots, ethnic roots, elements to share globally in a global music, but my plan is to focus on pop. So, and like, you know, sister of mine, y'all stay tuned, things are coming. So, but focusing a lot on myself, which I hope you are too, being creative, check in with the older ones, do whatever you can to help. And yeah, that has been
Beautiful.
life now for the past 2 months.
I know we've all been in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
About we going on week 6 now. Wild. Hey, we have some surprise.
I just saw a surprise on there.
Hello.
Joined us,
Hi.
Lisa Arnold.
Hi.
And
How you doing?
Smiling big. Oh, this is amazing.
Just for VOC and all of you that are watching, some background. Lisa, do you mind introducing yourself?
Oh, sure. My name is Lisa Arnold, used to be Roth. I'm a conductor with Chicago Children's Choir now, but I grew up singing as a student with Vasil. We met in middle school and have been dear friends since then.
Miss Liz Baker.
Hi guys, I'm Liz Baker and I am also a conductor now at the choir. And yeah, Lisa, Vasil, and I all sang together with Miss Lee, with Miss Hansen growing up. And I mean, Vasil kept the secret from you like an hour ago.
Even though we're
yeah, so happy to see you.
Likewise.
Are you surprised, Vasil?
I am. It's good. I'm just smiling. It's big. Smile of love. But going back to what I said at the beginning, this family, it's family. So you all don't take it for granted.
Caleb, do you have any questions from our singers?
Yeah, can you guys share your favorite memory either from middle school or CCC, high school?
Well, let's see. We all became like really close friends starting that was sort of like sophomore, junior year was when we started to like be really close, and like even though we had known each other for quite some time, but that now it's been many years later and we still contact. I would say, I mean, the experiences like in terms of our concerts, definitely like the Riverside in New York City, we performed there, and it was one of the tours that Vasil came on, because there was some of those other tours you didn't go with us on, but it was like that incredible concert. All our favorite songs, the Bebo Ave Maria, the Lion King medley, all those songs. That was probably one of the best musical.
Oh man, I'm embarrassed to say that I was going to actually mention that concert also.
Me too.
There are so many, it's hard to pick, but I actually ended up writing my college essay, like to get into college, about that concert. Yeah, there was like a moment in particular that really stuck out, and I can still kind of see this vision, like this
You better
image
not
of it
steal
in my
my
head.
story.
Oh no,
It's okay.
I don't think it possibly could be.
Okay.
So during the Lion King, Vasil had a solo.
That story. Give.
You tell. It's okay. And then Vasil.
You want Vasil to tell it? Go ahead.
No. Lee, that's your story.
Okay, so my life in the front row will never end. So I was pretty close to Vasil, and he started this song kneeling in front of all of us, and he sang this solo, and we all started, our choreography involved us starting with our heads looking slightly up. And so as Vasil was singing this song, the words were particularly poignant because it was kind of about his father, and without getting into like too many details, that's a big part of Vasil's life too, and so I think particularly those of us who were very good friends with him at the moment were feeling pretty emotional, and then as soon as the solo finished, our heads came down, and as that happened, we were standing on it was like beautiful marble floor, but they had a cover that was like this black spongy I don't know what it's called, but something to cover the beautiful floor. And it was dry, really dry plastic. And as our heads all came down, apparently all of us had been tearing up, because when our heads came down, there was literally a line of tears that dropped from all of our faces. And I recall seeing it kind of like in a very dramatic fashion, just in one long line, like down like a drip of tears across the whole front row. It was insane.
Yeah, that was a pretty epic concert. Vasil, did you want to share the same story, or do you?
Well, that was going to be my story. My story of Lisa's, through Lisa's eyes. If I share anything that sticks out to me non-musically, it would have to be meeting two people. It was funny enough, we were in New York when in one of the churches we had rehearsals, and I believe it was Rachel Robinson and I ended up meeting Maggie Smith. And she was sitting listening to our rehearsal. I don't know if you guys know this story, if you remember it. And she just said, please don't tell anybody I'm here. I'm just here to enjoy. It ended up being the church that she goes to pray. She was sitting down and we're like, we know you.
Wait,
so it's that whole thing of
who Maggie Smith is? Who's
Maggie, yeah, Maggie Smith, which, I mean, it was ordained Maggie Smith. I think she's a Dane.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, musical story, it's that concert, it's that moment of Lisa, endless night. And just as those tears dropped, it goes, I know that the night must end and that the sun will rise. So once again,
appropriate right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way,
it will end.
Singers, those of you that are watching, that was the concert that cemented my deal at the choir. That was right after 9/11. So this was February of 2002. We were invited to perform with the Chicago Youth Symphony Orchestra at Carnegie Hall. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? You practice, practice, practice. This generation of CCC singers, you know, we worked so hard to get there. My parents had both passed away in 2001. And I was just thinking with 9/11, I was like, well, it's my time to get out of this country. And I was ready to move to Europe and work there. And it was that particular concert that evening at Riverside, that Ave Maria, and I was just so frustrated with the world. And I just looked up on stage and I saw these beautiful, extraordinary people. And I said, this is not about me anymore. It's about devoting my life to serving others. And it was because of all of you that I started here. So thank you. Really, that was
Thank you.
powerful experiences of my life.
Thank you.
I mean, obviously we were all feeling the same way because now we work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the year Vasil left, I mean, we spent lots of time traveling to visit him, going to Canada. First time I went abroad by myself was to go visit him in Italy, and that was, and we're still trying to make it work from wherever we are in the world.
Yeah, wherever we are. Right. Yeah, even the first was Lisa came to London. We said because we couldn't see each other. So Lisa and I spent the New Year's in London.
It was amazing.
At almost 18 in a hotel room jumping on a bed.
How did our parents let us do that?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But that's the thing. That's the power of what I call one of the best things that I have learned is that the power of chosen family. And that's, once again, I'm just going to keep telling all you little ones, don't take this time for granted. Build these relationships, even if you don't end up in music. We were lucky that all of us found a path in music that we'll all do it and we all stay connected. I think that's the key word of this whole COVID situation. Stay connected, keep your connections going.
I think we have a few minutes left, so maybe if we can answer some of the questions from the audience. Singer Lulu Ruggiero asks, what do you want your listeners and fans to take away after listening to your music?
Ooh, that is a beautiful question. I want you to be touched, inspired, and seek truth. I always say you're gonna hear a little surprise a little later. And if anything, I want to share is truth. It sounds so easy, but in order to tap, that was one of the biggest lessons and struggles that I went through. Because of all the hardships, I put up walls in order to survive because there were so many things that life kept throwing my way. And I did all of this where I'm like, okay, I'm strong. I can do this. I can do this. And it took a long time for me to say, wow, Vas, you are really strong. But then I realized that all the walls of survival that I put up, I put around my voice. So all the technique, all those lessons that I went through in school, conservatory, everything was just stripped down. I mean, I keep calling it to get naked, but to get naked in the sense of being okay with who you are and sharing your truth. And once you can do that, there's been a few moments where I've been performing, and the concert that we all mentioned, I think collectively as a group, we achieved that truth where we all become one, and you share the story where it's bigger than you. Something comes through you, tells an honest story that touches people. And the thing is, music is a personal choice. We all have different tastes. So to me, that is, as long as I inspire or touch, stir something in you, whatever emotion it may be, I've done my job.
I think we could take one more question, Caleb, before.
Yeah. Someone is asking, as a young baritone looking to develop his voice for the theater, what roles do you recommend for a beginner? And what has been your favorite role to perform?
Oh, that's a tough question because there's so many different types of baritones. So Mozart should be your best friend. People say it's easy. It's not easy, but it's a young baritone, just Mozart. My favorite, yeah, Mozart, Don Giovanni. I'm curious, how much time do we have left?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes. There's one thing I would love to share. I mean, one day soon I'm going to be there and I would love to do master classes to share things. If I'm going to bombard you with things, you can keep coming back to this video. Vocal technique, it is very important to have the right teacher. So whenever you audition for schools, whatever it is, just remember they are auditioning for you as much as you're auditioning for them. This is the rest of your life. So if there was one thing I wish I knew or focused more when I was in choir, is that Caleb, you are the CEO of Caleb, nobody else. I am the CEO of me. So turn your passion into business. Maybe not all of you will end up doing music, but keep focusing on that and just focusing on who you are, your truth. And I want to teach you, so vocal technique, I call it CCC, funny enough. Be connected, be controlled, and be consistent in your singing. I have few exercises that I don't know if I have time to show you, but just keep that in mind. In order to, you just have to be connected to your breath. You have to control that breathing, and then you have to be consistent. So there you go. That's the CCC of that.
Demonstrate one for us, please.
So, and just the other thing about singing, you can, once again, I'm going to keep giving you a lot of information. Singing, you always sing an emotion, and remember, you cannot hear yourself. You can only feel yourself. So if you think you can hear, if you're listening to yourself, you're already too late. Your voice has to go out. So if you sound beautiful to you, trust me, that's only to you, and you're being selfish, and you're not letting your voice out to all of us. So find an outside ear that you trust, one person, and listen to them, nobody else. Because there's nice people, but there's mean people. And always take care of your instrument. That's the one thing. And to me, singing is an emotions. So if I give you the 2 P's of singing, pain and pleasure. Because when you literally, if you think about it, you always evoke some kind of emotion when you're singing. So if you're crying in your singing, add that. Even if you're singing Adele's song, add pain or pleasure. Whether it's the excitement. So if I was to give you, let me see. Do you have time to give you 3 exercises?
Yeah.
So always focus on the middle of your voice. Many of us are obsessed, how loud and how high can I sing? No, that doesn't matter. If you line up the middle of your voice, so any kind of exercise that you would do, C major, go only from C to G. So to access, it's kind of like a monkey sound. It's not nothing on the throat. And the first exercise would go, bring that up half steps up to a G max. But you have to be careful that it's hollow. Don't think about singing or making sound. That would be your first exercise. Connect it down. Singing is speaking. So you just keep thinking of that. Second exercise to think about is when you start to blend all of your vowels. So if it's an exercise, you can go triple it. So if you're going and practice that. Once you have that solidified, you go I. You are not moving your jaw. You're only moving your tongue. So you're going to mix two vowels. O. E, o. So it's always tongue exercises. You are not moving your jaw. And when you get to up to speed of it, you go, and it's not because that will liquefy your voice. When you get the middle of the voice, trust me, the bottom and the top will come. So you can leave it at those two. I know it's a lot of information now because I'm dropping it at you. We can keep going back to this video. And when I'm there in person, I will show you. But just remember, connected, controlled, and consistent. And just to even show you, if I can share one little thing, I just remembered, Emilia used to give us voice lessons. And I remember in one of the first lessons, she asked me, what's the best place for singing? Without thinking, I was like, the bathroom. And she goes, no, but you said you're thinking smart, because the best place for singing is the place that gives you the most amount of resonance with the least amount of effort. So you are your own instrument. Cellists, anybody break a string, they can go buy a new one. We can't. So you have to take care of this. So in all of that, just keep practicing and practicing with your own vibrations. And that's what I keep saying. You don't need to sing loud. Make people come to you.
Yes.
There is a lot of power in that.
That's beautiful. Can you set up this video, singers?
So, oh yeah. So we didn't know how singing would go on this, if there would be a lag. So since I'm 7 hours ahead, earlier today, I recorded a little video for you and talked a little bit. But that's what it is. It's one of my favorite things. The video speaks for itself, so it'll tell you what it is. But I hope to see you guys very soon. Stay true to yourself. Be nice to each other. And yeah, when I'm there, you have me. Classes, we've done a few classes with the boys, but when I'm there, I will make time to do master classes. And love you guys. Thank you for the congrats video. That was lovely too.
Love you. We love you.
Thank you so much.
Let's press play. Let's press play. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a few things. My experience in the choir, what I learned and used the most, and if I could go back knowing what I know today, what would I tell little Vasil from back in the day? As well as teach you a few vocal technique tips and secrets. I'll call it my CCC. So remember that, CCC. And this song, I'll sing a little bit of it for you. It encapsulates my feelings towards the choir. Family. You've always been there for me, supported me, taught me, challenged me, pushed me. The list goes on. And if I could teach you guys one little thing today, always go for your truth. No matter what, if you come from here, there is no need to oversing, to do crazy runs, to sing the loudest. List goes on. Come from here and trust me, that touches. When I am down and oh, my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart's burdens be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand the mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Yes, fiddle solo. Let's go back to the chats.
Thank you all for joining us. Caleb, mwah, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Where are you attending in the fall?
I'm going to Northwestern University.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next time.
Bye.